Welcome back, everybody. So, The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 4 review. I went into this episode kind of knowing that it was like kind of a filler build-up episode. I didn't expect a huge amount to happen in this episode, but yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised by what was going on in here. There is a very definite feel in this episode, which I really, really enjoy. This episode does kind of focus mainly around Lydia and even Negan in this, and with other storylines going on in this. We also get a visit to Hilltop, which is actually kind of a nice change. At the start of this episode, you get to see King or Ezekiel basically struggling with his life at this moment, where to the point we actually want he wants to kind of commit suicide. I like what they were doing with him here, because at the end of the day, essentially everything that he says in here is that he has failed. He's a failed leader. He's lost so many people in his life, or in the last 7 to 8 years, and the consequences of all this is basically starting to take his toll on him. And I generally get that feeling. You really get to feel that maybe that he is failed, maybe he's not feeling that he has much of a purpose, and then yet when an incident happens in this episode, as in a tree falls in, and where Hilltop basically get a little bit tested, he you can see that struggle. You can see they he's losing, I almost want to say losing the will to live at a certain point, but yet in that moment, Michonne comes to his aid to try and settle him down and basically brings him down to a nice level. I generally like what they did with this, to be fair. It's also nice to see Hilltop and, to see some, different kind of things going on in this, in this series. You also get to see in Alexandria the tensions of Lydia living there. And I generally really, really do like this. There is that ever doubt and worry that the Whisperers are just going to come knocking on their door at any single time. And in this episode, you really get to see it. They know, or the people of Alexandria know, that there's a threat out there, and they think that everything that's happening to them is basically the result of the Whisperers, which in essentially, yes, they are. The Whisperers are bullies, and it's a very, very good tactic, which is actually mentioned actually in this episode, and you can really see the tension and the frustration of everybody that's living there, of the fact that Lydia, who is the daughter of Alpha, is staying there, and there is a lot of hatred gathering, to the point where I'm not going to say too much about this episode just in case you haven't seen it, but there is a great little scene in here where it comes to a head where Negan has to step in, which then creates another problem for Negan. Even though he was doing the right thing, it's that case of, because of his past, obviously, people are going to automatically think it's him. It's a classic thing of Negan is trying to redeem himself with this, but with his past, obviously it's very, very difficult. Even to the point where, yeah, okay, Daryl is very, very skeptical of Negan, but yet he still believes that what he did was for the greater good. So he was actually protecting Lydia in this episode, and the fact that Daryl actually kind of believes Negan is showing a slight turning point in his redemption. But unfortunately, with everything that's going to be going on in this season, which I do actually kind of know what's going to be happening, he basically gets released out of prison and then he basically escapes. Now, I kind of know what's going to be happening from now, and this is the reason why I kind of knew it was a filler kind of build up episode. So I know the direction that Negan's going. It's just a case of how they play this out, and that's not because um, I read the comics or anything like that. It's because I do watch quite a few videos, and I know he's a massive influence in the Whisperer War, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but I know what's happening. Basically, I know on a general scale what's going to be going on. In essence, I just enjoyed this episode. Like I said, the tension. Before I go on to that, there is another thing here. The Doctor in here with his post-traumatic stress in here. There is something else going on there. There is a lot of emphasis on him at this moment, and that's not just I swear to God, he kind of made a deal or trade or something to get out of there alive or something like that. There is a lot of emphasis on him at this moment, and what happened in the last series, I don't think the full story's been told on that. I'm really, really interested to see what's going on there. And I can pretty much guess, but then again, if I guess, chances are I probably got it wrong, and I don't want to look stupid. So I just gotta wait to see how that plays out. Generally, I really do like this. You really get to see the tension and the frustration actually building in this. I liked what they did with Lydia in this one. She is okay, yes. Essentially, she made that choice to live there. That was her home. This is what she chose, and she's also the bargaining chip as well, with between Alexandria and the Whisperers as well, to protect her, to keep her safe, to keep her alive. Because if basically, essentially, if they Whisperers find out that she is being killed off, there could be some severe consequences going on for Alexandria and the whole of the communities in a general whole. I really like what they did. The other thing I really enjoy in this new season as well of The Walking Dead is the action shots in this. There is a great little action shot of where a group of, I cannot remember, they're the newer people, I just can't remember the names because they're not really been in it much, to be fair, of them fighting a load of zombies. And the way they're doing their action and portraying and the choreography, something like that, you know what I'm trying to say, of the fight scenes in this new season, I actually genuinely am really liking. They are putting in a lot more time in this that make it very, very interesting. I like the dramatic feel they've got with this going on, and it's just really, really good. I'm generally really enjoying this season 10, to be fair. And I did worry whether the absence of Rick for a whole season would affect me watching this, and to be honest with you, it hasn't. It hasn't at all. Yes, I do. I would prefer it if Rick was in this program. I'm not going to lie to you, but it hasn't affected it. For me personally, I'm actually still quite enjoying it quite a lot. We have Negan that's stepping up the mark. They're giving him more of a role, which I generally like. You got to see a little bit more of Daryl as well, or you're starting to get to see a bit more of Daryl as well, which is a very, very big character for me because he's one of my favorite characters out of the whole of The Walking Dead. And it's heating up, and I'm generally really, really looking forward to actually watching next week's episode. I haven't watched the promo yet, which I'm going to do just after I uploaded this video, but generally, all in all, for me, I actually really enjoyed it. So on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care, and goodbye.